Star Rail has a lot of characters at this point, and a lot of them aren't great. Either that, or they weren't great for a while. Looking at you, Break. However, there are always characters that hold up just a bit better. Characters who exceed expectations in some way and end up as top-tier, must-pull characters. That is exactly what we're going to talk about. Hello everyone, my name is Christian, and today we are going to talk about the highest value characters in HSR as of version 4.1. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, become a YouTube member down below. And with that said, let's get into it. Alright, so we've got a not very long list of characters for today because, yeah, best value pull really changes over time, and right now, the game is in an interesting spot. I could honestly make a whole video dedicated entirely to this concept, but the game right now is in a state where generalists as a whole probably have their least value that they've ever had. And that is honestly pretty cool in my opinion, because it encourages more unique concepts when making characters. Like, take a look at Cyrene Ceridra, both super unique characters with a lot of very specific aspects to their kit. I personally like those designs a lot, and that is honestly just a bit cooler than just action advancing everything in my opinion. But hey, we still gotta talk about high value pulls. With the way the game currently is, you really need to pull around your specific account and what you want to do with it. It's definitely harder to just give broad pull recommendations compared to the last time I did this video, which was during version 3.1. I was able to recommend like the Herda, all of the big generalists, and then Tribby, of course. There are definitely a few characters who are still good overall and will just be great for your account. Like, they'll just provide value no matter what. Yeah, quite a few characters are a bit more specific nowadays, where you need to kind of go all in for the most part. Like, you need to get multiple parts for the characters or teams to succeed, and that even applies to your supports nowadays. So just keep that in mind as we go into this list. This is just going to be the best list I can give you in terms of overall value. That was very long-winded, wasn't really that helpful, I apologize, but man, this is the type of video that's gonna usually get people talking a lot, so I'm trying to make sure I cover some sort of base here. Alright, so let's start with who I believe still has the most relative value out of most supports in the game, Tribby. Now, Tribby is an interesting case where Tribby is not really the best in slot across the board anymore. However, Tribby's just really good across the board. Tribby is a character who can run to success with Anexa, Mighty, Sparksy, Archer, Castorus, Evernight, DOT, Aglaya, Saber, the Herda. And the Herda is actually her best in slot team still. Tribby is a character who can just work across the board, and you are going to get at least a decent team comp out of it, no questions asked. She has so many powerful tools at her disposal. 24% res pen boost, 30% increased damage taken. We've got the best EDD user in the game. We've got an incredible E1 that will increase your damage across the board. Like, oh my god. Also, her signature light cone, 80% crit damage or something like that, and also gives you a bunch of ultimates still, so that you can get those follow-up attacks and keep your zone up without an energy regen rope, which also means Tribby outputs even more damage. Tribby overall is just a phenomenal character who, again, definitely not going to be your singular best option for quite a few of your teams, but with all those teams I just listed off, you're gonna find a use for her somewhere. That much I can guarantee you. And it's not a bad idea to just pick her up when she comes along. There's almost always gonna be some character who will need consistent action advances, will need energy consumption, because look at the designs of a character like the Herda, who really relies on characters using energy, or there's also Tribby, who relies on characters using energy and is great with it. Those designs are going to keep happening. Like, we've seen it with Saber as well, going into further parts of version 3.x. Version 4.0 will likely have something like this as well. So keeping that in mind, Tribby is already going to be good, and then you can probably get some other character who will really want Tribby. This is just a character that's going to be helpful to you in almost every scenario. There's not really anything to complain about. She's great at E0, S0 value, and as you invest into her, her value really skyrockets, which is amazing. I will say, I still think Tribby is probably the highest value support pull in the game right now. Unless you have some very specific character, like I would say like a DOT or maybe like a break. Those two teams really want their specific supports over everything else. In almost every other case, Tribby is going to be a solid pickup. I feel very confident in saying that. All right, next character I would like to talk about. We are going to be taking a look at yet another character who was mentioned last time, Sunday. Now, Sunday is kind of on fraud watch a little bit. Sunday's not a bad character by any means, but all of the teams where he's best in slot, he got kicked out. It is crazy. With Mighty, you want shiningshout now. With a Nexa, you want shiningshout now. With a Glaya, you can actually do Sirini RMC and it'll work just as well, if not better. With Boot Hill, you're gonna be doing just overall all the break supports now because you want to do sustainless with Boot Hill anyway. The other break supports do not run Sunday, and every other character, he was already not the best option for the most part. The only place where he's probably still overall really good is going to be with like Saber. Oh, and Jing Yuan, but yeah, we don't need to talk about that. So even with all of that in mind, Sunday's still really, really powerful. He is still really, really good. He offers 20% crit rate. He gives you energy, a very, very vital thing in this game. He gives you a crit damage share, and with DHPT, you can enable the full power of his skill. His skill gives you an 80% damage boost. Also, he is completely SP neutral, and if you have his light cone, he's SP positive. That is absolutely incredible. I really like what Sunday brings to the table. It's not going to be the absolute best, but it is a great action advancer that is going to be a bit more friendly than somebody like Bronya, and at the same time, he has certain niches where he is still going to succeed more than somebody like Sparkle. It really does kind of depend, once again, on your account actually, but Sunday is going to be a safe pick no matter what. I can guarantee you that. And with that mentioned, we can actually go to the next character that I want to recommend. I cannot believe I'm saying this. The next character with great pull value in Honkai Star Rail is Sparkle. Oh my god. How did we end up here? As many of you know, Sparkle received an absolutely massive Nova Flare that helped her in every single way imaginable. She is unbelievable now. Her buff now lasts for 2 turns. She can increase damage taken even easier now. She needs a less time to get that debuff up and running. She will get you 6 skill points. And the best part, they no longer get lost if you time it wrong. They simply go into overflow. You still get those skill points. Nothing is wasted. And you get a damage boost. That's amazing. Like, you still get a very powerful crit damage boost and just damage boost in general. She now recovers energy when characters use skill points. If a character consumes 3 or more skill points, her next use of skill is free. And last but not least, she will increase all allies' attack by 45%. Oh my goodness. That doesn't even have to be reserved for your main DPS. You could do that with Robin, and she will benefit from that because Robin is all about attack scaling. Similarly, there's also the matter of her Eidolons. Her Eidolons were always some of the strongest in the entire game, and now they are even better. E1 will increase your speed by 15% when using skill, and it'll increase the attack of all ally targets with Cypher by 40%. That's unbelievable. That's once again just another massive attack boost, 85% in total with E1. You can also build her to be a little bit slower since you will always reliably have a 15% speed boost to start off with, and you're gonna keep using that skill anyway. You're never gonna lose it. Then we have E2. Each stack of Talent's effect additionally reduces enemy target's defense by 10%. I believe this amount used to be 24%. This ability can stack up to 3 times her talent, I mean. You now get 30% defense shred with her E2, so a higher value. And it's 10%, so it's also easier to accumulate. That's amazing. This is one of the best supports that you can invest in currently in Honkai Star Rail. Her biggest flaw as a character, which in some cases is really not even a flaw, it's a strength, it's just a different way of playing, is her 50% action in advance. It's not a 100% action in advance. That did not get buffed, that did not get changed. it is still 50%. Just because you advance your character and they go all the way to the top does not mean it's 100% action advance. This is the only case where it's not, but it is not for Sparkle. It has not changed, not 100%. Sorry, I had so many people commenting about that, and they were just all wrong. While Sparkle does not have as many specific places in the game, I feel, she is simply just unbelievably powerful, and she can work in so many different places. Works with Finon amazingly, works with Archer amazingly. She can work with just about any other DPS that needs action advance in any way, shape, or form. Sparkle is simply one of the best options in the game for a general support, and for an action advancer, unless you need that specific 100% action advance, or you need that energy regen from Sunday or his specific summon ability, then why wouldn't you pick up Sparkle? Those skill points are gonna be helpful. That massive damage boost is gonna be helpful. That free skill use is gonna be helpful. This is a absolutely phenomenal character in the current state of the game, and I cannot recommend her enough, which is such a weird thing to say about a version 2.0 character that just a few months ago was resigned to Archer and Archer alone. She had no other ideal spots. She really was not a good choice anywhere else, and now the tables have completely flipped. The power of a Nova Flare is absolutely unbelievable, and I'm still salty that Black Swan and Sparkle are the ones who got it. I really hope we get it on some more useless characters like Zhao Chou. I would love to see them enhanced a bit more. Alright, the next characters we're going to talk about are actually characters who lie in the sustain category. Now, I have always said having a good sustain makes this game so much easier. I learned this when I first got Fu Xuan back in version 2.2. I was having an absolutely miserable time just trying to beat any form of content with good old Lynx and Bailu keeping me up. I will say, sustaining is kind of interesting in the current state of Star Rail, because I say this when I used Bailu to almost clear Anomaly Arbitration against Lygus, and I used Bailu to clear an MOC 12 a while back within like 2 cycles. Bailu is actually really not that bad nowadays. There are 2 sustain characters who just stand so far above the rest, it's not even funny. There are still good options that exist. We got Gallagher, who's a free option, you know, 4-star. We got Ho Ho, amazing for characters who have a lot of energy pool. We've got Ling Sha. I don't have anything positive to say about her, actually, and yikes. Avon and Luocha are a bit more mediocre options nowadays, but they're still not bad by any means. They do their job sufficiently. But at the top of the mountain, the absolute peak of what sustaining is, we have Hyacin and DHPT. Let's go over the core differences between them. DHPT is a preservation character. He is a shielder. What DHPT does is he gives a character a summon. This summon will constantly grant shields to your entire team, and when it is enhanced through DHPT's ultimate, he can actually do a follow-up attack that does not a lot of damage, but definitely some. And more importantly, for a lot of characters, it can proc their follow-up attacks, or it counts as a hit on the field, and it can regenerate energy, which is going to be pretty important for quite a few characters in this game. DHPT is going to best serve with characters who are attack-oriented. Your crit damage DPSs, so characters like Finon, hysilenskisser, Archer if you want, and Sparksy. Those are the ones off the top of my head. He is very strong. His shields are incredible, even at E0, S0. You just have to build him somewhat competently, and he will achieve this for you. I absolutely love everything he brings to the table. This then takes us to Hyacin is a healer that lies in the Remembrance category. Her and the Aeon of Veracity, Little Ika, are the characters who are going to keep you alive through absolutely everything. They will constantly refresh your HP every time you are hit, and that HP lost is basically converted into damage for Little Ika, who will then absolutely bulldoze your opponents. Like, oh my god. Little fat unicorns taking us all out. Hyacin is just an incredible healer, and while she has a very clear spot with Mono Remembrance as their central character, she does still work in every other scenario you could ask for. She's a good character to run alongside Aglaya, since Aglaya does not consume skill points, so you can spam freely with Hyacin. Hyacin is a good character to run alongside characters like Anexa when he is running with Cyrene to get up some charges for Cyrene's ultimate. Hyacin is a good character to have once again with Cyrene, Ceridra, and Mighty if you really want. She can be run in just about every other team. You might not be able to get the damage dealing capabilities out of her, but you'll still get genuinely incredible sustained capabilities. There's really nothing to be upset about with Hyacinth. She's just a very, very competent healer who, in her best case scenario, can be a damage dealer on the same level as like almost a 2.x DPS or just a sub DPS character, if we're being honest, because this girlie can hit up to 300k or higher sometimes. That's unbelievable. I really dislike Hyacinth and her design. She was kind of the beginning of a lot of rough things happening game design wise, in my opinion, but that does not discredit her at all from being one of the best characters in the game. And honestly, between her and Tribby, I would honestly say maybe getting Hyacinth is the better pick, since it's almost like a damage band-aid with Hyacinth. She will be able to do a little extra damage for you and your team if your builds aren't as good or if you're lacking that other key support. Tribby, still incredible, still offers a lot of damage dealing capabilities all on her own, but between the two, just because sustaining is so important in this game for early to mid-game players, I would say Hyacinth is an incredible choice to grab. I feel so bad for the people who did not get DHPT. Like, man, he was free until 4.0, and oh baby, this character's incredible. I love him so much. I'm so happy Don Hung gets to be relevant again, chat. All right. To end off my list today, we have two more characters to discuss. It is not often that I would say DPS characters are high value pulls. The way this game goes, DPS will just constantly keep getting better and better and stronger, and it'll leave the old ones in the dust, especially for characters who are a bit more niche. More often than not, that can usually mean that they are not going to get their specific support for a long time. DOT was completely irrelevant for over a full version. Firefly and Break overall, they were really struggling up until the release of the Dahlia after like version 3.1, 3.2 probably. It is very hard to recommend DPS characters. However, Amphorius brought us two characters who I feel are very, very safe bets, are very good all on their own, and they will scale incredibly if you are willing to invest and pull a bit more for their best team. I am of course talking about Evernight and Anexa. I actually have a video about these two characters specifically coming out at some point in the next few months. I'm really excited about it. These two characters have just broken every single mold I could have ever imagined in Star Rail. It is absolutely insane to see, and even now they are still holding up super well. Let's start with the older of the two, Anexa. You can see that right now he's in T0.5 of Preedwin. That is the biggest load of horse possibly ever. That is a lie. Anexa is still an unbelievably powerful character, being one of the few characters to be able to clear hard content with very minimal investment. If you invest right, he can clear very efficiently. It is unlike any other character, I think, in this game's history. Like, think about that. We've made it 4 versions, countless DPS, and he is the most efficient at clearing with a low value overall. That's unbelievable. That is such a high compliment, and I cannot say enough good about Anexa. If you want an amazing Anexa team, you don't really need light cones. The only thing you're gonna need is Anexa, get him Cyrene, and get him Ceridra. You have a fully complete team at that point, and it is a damn powerful one. If you have DHPT, slot him in, you're set. If you would like to run Sustainless, throw in RMC, and you are set. It is unbelievable the power that he holds, and just how amazingly his kit has turned out in the grand scheme of things when he was paired with Castoreth, the anniversary character of version 3.x. He was forgotten, he was not loved, he was said to just be a stupid sub DPS, and look at him go. One of the highest value characters in Star Rail still. Absolutely incredible to see. Last but not least, we have Evernight. I like Evernight a lot. She is super flexible. She can work with almost any support that you throw at her, and it'll be really, really nice. She will exceed more if you have Hyacinth and her cone and also RMC available. And if you really want to get crazy, put Hyacinth cone on RMC too, and then, oh baby. Overall though, Evernight just works with such a multitude of characters, similarly to Anexa. Her base strength is absolutely unbelievable, not even really requiring Casterus, Cyrene. Like, Tribby is nice, Cypher's cool, but again, she can just run it down main all on her own, and she'll probably succeed fairly well. That is not something you can say about most other DPS in this game without their ideal support. The best part about EffMTee is, like many other characters I've mentioned today, her scalings are very, very nice, with E1 and E2 being unbelievable high damage boosting eidolons. E2 being especially so, giving huge amounts of damage output. I absolutely love EffMTee. I can always say so much good about her. She is one of my favorite DPS and just favorite characters in this entire game. If you want a character that will last you for a while longer, that will always get better with investment of even the smallest variety, EffMTee is going to be a phenomenal pickup for your account. And with that, we are good to finish off for today. This was a little all over the place. I feel like I haven't done this style of video in a little bit. I've been doing a lot of other stuff lately. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that all of the advice, all of the suggestions were good, and I hope it helps you in the future as you continue playing Honkai Star Rail. Thank you all so much for watching. I've got plenty more good videos coming out soon, so I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.